Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Game Week 8 deadline stream. I almost said knee-jerk stream then. FPL is finally back. It doesn't really, I gotta be honest, it doesn't really feel like it for me. It kind of does, obviously, because I've been making videos about FPL. But for my actual team, because I've not had to do anything over the break, there's not really been anything to think about. I feel like if I wasn't making content, I would feel like FPL was quite dead right now. There's just not a huge amount going on. But also, I know that plenty of you are making transfers, thinking about Enzo, João Pedro, lots of people on wildcard. It's just, for me, it doesn't feel like it's really back. I need that first match, even though I'm probably not going to watch the Chelsea game, but I need that first match back. You're getting Enzo. I'm definitely not buying Enzo. The only Chelsea player I'm considering buying is João Pedro for Evan Nilsson, but probably not going to do that. He did drop in price, though, so he's only 7.6 now. Oh, I wish I'd just gone for João Pedro on wildcard, in all honesty. Even if I would have suffered a 0.1 drop, it wouldn't have mattered. I'd rather have him than Evan Nilsson. But I'm going to roll. And then hopefully, maybe Evan Nilsson will remember how to score goals. That would be quite nice. I feel like I'm saying that for a lot. Maybe Bruno Fernandes, Paquetá, Reinders, Gyökeres, and Evan Nilsson will remember how to score goals. Because right now, the only two players in my team that seem to know is Haaland and Semenyo. And that's about it. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Is Adarabioyo a great transfer this week? I don't think picking up a Chelsea defender is that bad. I think if you can afford it, I'd probably go for Chalobah. But I think Tosin will probably start most games. Like, he's back now, right? Do you mean wouldn't sell Restrand last? Oh, yeah. I do mean that. So I wouldn't buy, wouldn't sell, basically. Let me just change that a second. It's nice to know that someone's actually reading the ticker. Strand Larsen apparently still struggling a bit with pain in his Achilles. Wouldn't. Oh, yeah. Wouldn't sell. Wouldn't buy, wouldn't sell. Is that oh, I thought I had a typo in there, but actually it's just a bit of dirt on my screen. To really clean my office a little bit more. At least you're not stuck with Bruno versus Liverpool. I mean, I'm not stuck with him. I could sell him, but I'm not really that bothered about doing it. To be honest. Is Juve a good differential? Yes. Pretty good fixtures next 4. And also probably cheap enough where you could just bench him as 4th or 5th defender. I think ideally I would have Juve as a 5th defender. But if he's got to be your 4th, it's not the end of the world. Is Reece James a shout? I wouldn't go there, honestly. He's not as attacking as he once was, and he's certainly not nailed to start every game. Now, they'll start him as much as they can because he's clearly their best defender. You're always going to be looking at that team sheet. Like, he has, I think it's 390 minutes in a row for him. But I personally wouldn't go there. I just think it's too much of a headache. Now, and I know, excuse me. Hang on. I know I'm generally quite cautious with minutes and sometimes maybe a little bit overly cautious, but I just think with Reece James, it's just not worth it. Yeah, 390 minutes in a row. I wouldn't bother. Personally. If he plays, he's good. Own Eze and Gabriel, Bruno to Saka or Timber in. I don't mind Bruno to Saka, to be honest. I think it's okay. I mean, long term, my preference is double defence and Saka, but because you've got Eze, I'd probably just get Saka as well. 2 of Burn, Gay, Senesi can't decide. I mean, Gay's definitely getting played, right? He's at home. And then I'd probably play Senesi ahead of Burn, better for defensive contributions. And I don't think either of them are necessarily keeping a clean sheet. Dubravka, João Pedro, Anderson, and Stack good enough for bench boost. I mean, is João Pedro really on your bench? Really? I don't believe that. Otherwise, yes. But it's only a good enough for bench boost because you've got João Pedro there, which is probably not really on your bench. Really? Come on. Captain Salah or Voltemada? Is that really a question? Really? Really? Captain the guy home to Man United on penalties 90 minutes or captain the guy away to Brighton, not guaranteed 90, not on penalties? Really? You can probably guess which one I would go for. Vice captain on Bruno. I thought I put it on Semenyo. Maybe I changed it back. I mean, does it really matter? Haaland's going to play anyway. Like, does it really matter? Probably not all that much. I might change it to Semenyo, or maybe even Yorkeresh. I don't know if it makes people happier. Do you know what? I'm actually just gonna. I'm not even gonna save the team. I'm gonna change the. In fact, I'm gonna put it on Semenyo because I'll just get less comments about it. But I've not actually saved the team, so it's gonna be Bruno. Why not? Every FPL content creator is talking about Bowen or Voltemada. Why is no one talking about Mateta? I don't know. You'd have to go and ask them, I guess, because I talked about Mateta this week. Love your video. Should I play Minter or Calvert-Lewin? I'd probably play Calvert-Lewin, honestly. Feels like a tough week for everyone. It's because of the fixtures. It's just nothing that exciting that you don't already own, to be honest. Like, honestly, one of the best fixtures for goals this week is probably Liverpool. But no one wants Salah. If you buy any of their other attackers, they all feel a little bit rubbish for various reasons. Like, I don't mind Isak, I don't mind Gakpo, but I don't think most people are buying this week. Richarlison start, probably. I would say, probably. My money would be on a Richarlison start, but I wouldn't put too much of it on because he just feels like he's not completely guaranteed. Like, it could just be Tell again. I basically, Richarlison's got to go at some point. So if you can do it this week to jump on like a João Pedro or a Bowen, then I would definitely do it. If you don't have a free transfer, I'd risk it and then maybe do it next week. Van Dijk or Senesi, who to start? Van Dijk. Or both, but bench Bruno. No, I'd play Bruno over Senesi, I think. Wildcard. Pope, Dubravka, nice. Gabriel, Senesi, Kukurea, interesting. Timber, Alderete. I'd probably go Mukiele instead of Alderete because there's no doubts there, and he's probably better for defensive contributions anyway. Rice, Semenyo, Enzo, Sarr, Reinders, Mateta, Haaland, Šeško. Wow. Owned Enzo and Mateta from the start. Glaring misses or strong recommendations? I don't think there's any glaring misses. I mean, I would prefer to put Saka in there somewhere, I think. But again, that's just preference. And Šeško, I don't know if I'm that. I wouldn't be that interested in Šeško personally. I would go Bowen or João Pedro, but that's just personal preference. And obviously Enzo might not start, but you could just bench him this week. Do you think we will get some Chelsea news before the deadline? Maybe, but I don't know. I don't. Chelsea are not like a team you get regular leaks for. So, I mean, we don't really get regular leaks for anyone these days. So it's hard to know. I mean, the only thing I can say is they're the first game of the week. So is it possible? Yes. Will we definitely get it? Don't know. I want Enzo for Bruno, but on bench boost, don't want to risk not playing, but hate Bruno. I did say this when people were buying Bruno. Like, there's just this added frustration with him over everyone else. Like, people with Yorkeresh in their team, you know, he's just as expensive. He's also not doing anything. But you hardly ever hear anything about Yorkeresh being this massive frustration. It's so funny. But yes, you should keep Bruno rather than buy Enzo unless we get news, in my opinion. On bench boost, Alderete to Mukiele or just roll? I'd roll. I think he'll start. Bench boost with 3 players from Leeds versus Burnley. And Tarkowski, stupid or genius? Neither. Just a good move if you haven't got a better week to use it. It's okay to have one player that's a little bit subpar on bench boost if the rest are good. Why are so many people transferring out João Pedro? He hasn't got points recently, basically. And he's not been... There's loads of stats going around that he's not shooting, etc. But he did have like red cards in a couple of those games, you know. Rank these long-term picks. Tarkowski, Burn, Senesi. Probably Senesi, then Tarkowski, then Burn. I think Senesi just due to price over Tarkowski. Should I do Evan Nilsson to Bowen or Porro to Timber? I think Porro will start this week. So I think Evan Nilsson... If you're going to do both over the next couple of weeks, I would do Evan Nilsson first, then Porro next week. If you only want to do one and you want to keep the other player, then I'd actually prefer to keep Evan Nilsson, I think. Just because Porro has been benched. The one thing about Evan Nilsson, he won't get you any points, but he won't get benched either, I don't think. Although, I have to say, someone DM'd me on Instagram, like, a completely random person, from what I can tell, is not linked to a club. They said, hang on, where is it? I don't know where it is now. Oh, yeah. Evan Nilsson, completely random person. But, you know, sometimes I'll say, you know, I can't act. Sorry, sometimes I've had DMs in the past and I've said stuff like, I can't 100% guarantee this, but they look fairly legit, or they've given me team news in the past. This is a completely random person that I cannot link to any club whatsoever. And also, when I look at their location, oh no, actually, I don't know if that is their location. Anyway, this is let me get to the point. Evan Nielsen has a calf injury and is out for Crystal Palace. We have the same hair barber. He told me to take him out. So there's some completely random person that's DM'd me. I don't know who they are, what connections they have, but apparently their barber is the same barber that Evan Nielsen goes to, and Evan Nielsen and he told the barber he's got a calf injury and he's going to be out, even though Iriola didn't mention it at all. So I'm going to keep Evan Nielsen unless I get some more better information than that. So hopefully Evan Nielsen's calf is okay, and hopefully his hair is okay. We'll see today whether he's got a new haircut. I feel like I'm trying to picture Evan Nielsen's hair. I feel like he just goes with a pretty standard haircut all the time, so you wouldn't really know. He probably one of those guys that hair doesn't get super long. Like my hair grows quite quick. I haven't got much hair, but it still feels like it grows quite quick. So yeah, my barber said the same thing. My barber said keep Bruno Fernandes. I don't know why, but he just said it. I was trying to think about where I get my haircut then. Oh, yeah. Yeah, my barber said keep Bruno Fernandes. Start Gay, Burn, or Senesi. Gay. Thiago, good long term. He's an okay cheap option, yeah. I'd maybe just save the money and get Calvert-Lewin, but Thiago's fine. Start Rodgers. Start Rodgers or bring in Sarr/Enzo if he starts. Yeah, if you know Enzo's starting, Rodgers to Enzo is a great move. Rodgers to Sarr is also pretty good. Obviously, just Arsenal away next week. Array's 26 months. Thank you. On Wildcard, if we get early news that Enzo starts, would you start him or Rice? I'd start Enzo. Playing number 10 on penalties, pretty good. Like, I think it's worth saying, I really do like Enzo as a pick. I just don't think you can buy... Like, on Wildcard, I think you could start with him. By the way. Like, have him in your squad. But I don't think you can... I mean, you could start. I feel... Okay, the one thing with Enzo is I think he'll either start or not be in the squad. I'm not convinced we'll get a sub-appearance from him. But if you want to go absolutely secure with minutes, then obviously you just play Rice instead. Ben, 23 months. Porro to Munoz or roll? I'd be tempted to roll because I think Porro will start and Munoz has got Arsenal. You can just come back to it in game week 10. Play 2 of Porro, Tosin, Senesi. I would bench Senesi out of those. Reinders for Paquetá, bad idea on good fixture. I wouldn't sell either of those players, Reinders or Paquetá. I would just keep whoever you've got. Sav, new member, thank you. Bennett, 24 months. Is Saka a big miss in the wildcard? I feel like I covered it off with Rice a bit and freed up some cash. Šeško to João Pedro. It's okay to go without Saka, but I would definitely have him. I think purely because it's like a structure thing, I guess. It's having like a bit of extra money in midfield, like in case you need to move to Salah later on. I mean, to be fair, with the Palmer news, maybe Saka's a little bit less needed. And ultimately, it's all well and good talking about structure, but you're probably never going to want to sell Saka. It's okay to go without him, but I'm pretty sure if I was wildcarding, I would have him. But that's just me. I'm an idiot. I'm not going to win FPL this year. Like, why are you even watching? Should I remove your question, Xavi, or should I roll? You could probably just roll. I mean, you could do your question, Xavi, to a cheap forward and Saka. That's fine if you've got 2 free transfers, but it's just fine. Nothing more than that, I think. So if you want to roll, that's also good. I think there's a lot of people that are not really sure what moves to make this week. In that scenario, like, rolling is okay. Like, it'll be fine. It will be fine, I promise you. I mean, it might not be fine. You might have a disaster week and wish you'd use your transfers, but it'll probably be fine. Bring in 6.9 million midfielder, Kudus, Caicedo, or Enzo. I mean, right now, it probably got to be Kudus because you know he's going to start. I would definitely pick Enzo, though, if we get news he's playing. Paul, new member, thank you. My eventual plan is to remove Bruno, Dewsbury Hall, Njai, Yorkeresh to Saka, Sarr, Enzo, Mateta/Voldemort. I have 2 free transfers of 1.4. Which shall I prioritise can roll? I mean, Yorkeresh, if you can do like Yorkeresh and Dewsbury Hall to Mateta and Saka this week, that's probably quite good. Otherwise, just roll and figure it out next week. I mean, selling Bruno, like if you're going to sell Bruno anyway, you might as well do it this week, to be honest. Like if you're dead set on removing him, why not do it this week? So your question, Bruno to Saka and Mateta, probably good if you really want to do it. I mean, I would probably roll that, but then I would not want to be in a rush to sell Bruno necessarily. But if you're going to sell him, you might as well do it before he plays Liverpool. Start Senesi or Rodon. Probably Rodon, yeah. Like, defensive contributions are important, but so is clean sheets. So Leeds have got to be more of a chance, like you say. Will Caicedo start? I suspect he will, yes. But he also wasn't pictured in training, so there's obviously a little bit of risk there. But I'd be very surprised if he doesn't start. That guy always starts. Then again, so does Enzo. But I don't think Enzo will start, as it stands. Bruno, Van Dijk, Timber, Saka, Gabriel, Timber for -4, wildcard 13. I'm not sure what the second defender is there, because obviously you've put Timber in twice. But I probably wouldn't -4 Bruno out, personally. But if you want to do it, go for it. Which trio? João Pedro, Xhaka, Senesi versus Calvert-Lewin, Njai, Vardy. Rest of the team. Okay. Probably. Actually, I don't know. Probably João Pedro, Xhaka, Senesi, actually. Just because of the fixtures this week. And then future ones as well. I mean, Vardy, it's close. It's really close. I think I'd go João Pedro because you've got Senesi for the long term as well. Would you start Esteve over Richards or Senesi? I'd start him over Senesi, but probably not Richards. Bench boost 8, 3 Burnley, 2 free transfers. Simons, Esteve to Enzo. Yeah, I wouldn't do that. I mean, do Esteve to Michele if you really want to, but I would just keep Simons unless we get news about Enzo. In draft, have too many AFCON players. In Burmo, Sarr and 8 Nori. Been offered Vardiol for 8 Nori. Should I take it? Yes. Why would someone give you Vardiol for 8 Nori? I mean, my prediction would be that Vardiol will play more minutes than 8 Nori this season. I mean, I might be wrong on that, but that's my prediction. And yeah. And also, 8 Nori is not even back this week. It's a really good fixture, and Vardiol will play, right? I mean, yeah, you take Vardiol over 8 Nori, I think. Not that 8 Nori is like a bad option longer term, but I think you definitely. I mean, I'm not playing draft this season, but I kind of wish I was. I really enjoyed draft last year. I would take that trade, I think. I'm leaning towards selling, unless I'm missing something. I'm leaning towards selling in Burmo. Who would you get instead? Sarr, Enzo. Do you know what? I just wouldn't sell in Burmo. In your case, because you're saying Sarr, but he's got Arsenal away next week. And Burmo's got Brighton at home. And Enzo, we don't even know if he's going to start. So I'd probably just roll, honestly. I think general view is, again, this like a lot of people not sure about what moves to make, etc. Most of your teams are going to look much better next week. They just will. They'll look better, and you'll have extra transfers. And I'm not saying that you should just forget about game week 8 and everyone should roll, because there will definitely be people out there that need to make moves. But if you're not sure, honestly, just get that transfer rolled. Like, if we knew, like, if Enzo was 100% fit, I would do Mbeumo to Enzo and free up the money. But we don't know that. Considering upgrading Rice to Eze, I would just hold Rice. Livramento and Grealish could also get transferred out. Any other good defender, midfielder, or should I just roll the 2 free transfers? I mean, there's... See, if you're buying a midfielder this week, I'm not even sure who people are getting now without Enzo. Like Paquetá, but I just don't think... If you've got Paquetá, you keep him. I'm not sure I'd be necessarily buying him. Let me look at the transfers people are making, right? So Semenyo, you've probably already got. Kudus, it just doesn't feel like the right time. Saka, if you can afford it, is good. Like, if you could do Grealish to Saka, great. But you probably can't, right? Rice to Eze just feels like such a... It's not sideways, because I think Eze is better, but I don't know if he's that much better to use the transfer. Like, Grealish to Sarr is fine. But then Sarr's got Arsenal away next week. Like, if you could do Grealish to Saka or Livramento to another Arsenal defender, that could work. Or just roll. King to Sarr and keep Bruno, or King to Paquetá and Bruno to Saka. Could you... Well, King's cheaper. Can you not just do Bruno to Saka and keep King? He's got Arsenal though, I guess. I mean, King to Paquetá and Bruno to Saka is fine. Okay, so let me reword it, right. Who would I prefer long term, Bruno and Sarr or Saka and Paquetá? Probably Bruno and Sarr, honestly, because I wouldn't want Paquetá that long term past game week 11. For the next 4 weeks, I'd prefer Paquetá and Saka. Longer term, probably Sarr and Bruno. Start Senesi or Van der Ven, probably Van der Ven. Who's the best to buy for Simons? Sorry. Sarr, Paquetá or Enzo? I think he'll start. If you think he'll start, then Enzo, easy. But I don't think he will, so I'd buy Sarr. Van der Ven and Kudus to Richards and Enzo/Sarr, both one or none. Probably none. I think Villa players are okay. I think Spurs players are okay this week. Who to start in defence? Gabriel Calaf. Come on. You're not benching Arsenal defenders, are you? Really? You're really thinking about that? Really? I mean, I do understand why you're asking because you've got players playing Burnley. Gabriel, okay, so who to start in defence? Gabriel, let me take this seriously. Gabriel, Calafiori, Senesi, Romero, Rodon. Also, first bench, one of them versus Njai. So I would definitely play Gabriel and Calafiori. Like, that's easy. I'd play Romero over Rodon. Could you play Rodon ahead of Njai? I don't mind it. Njai is on penalties, though. My order would be Gabriel, Calafiori, Romero, Rodon, Senesi. And I would bench 2 defenders for Njai, I think. Wood and Rogers to Saka and Calvert-Lewin. Or Eze and João Pedro. Saka and Calvert-Lewin, I think, for me. Eze and João Pedro is probably quite nice in the short term, though, I will say that. But longer term, Calvert-Lewin and Saka. Bruno and Munoz to Saka and Tosin. Why would you sell Munoz? I guess you're selling Munoz to get the funds to do Bruno. I don't like that personally. But sure, if you're sick of Bruno, get rid of him. Mateta to Calvert-Lewin and Minter to Enzo or Eze or hold. I wouldn't sell Mateta right now. I think people will be looking to buy him in game week 10. And Minter's also good as well. So just roll. If you had 2 free transfers, what would you have done this game week? Honestly, I'd probably roll. I probably would roll. If I had more than one transfer, I would be slightly more tempted to move Evan Nilsson on. But I suspect I would roll. I'm just a little bit unsure about what I want to do in the next few weeks. And just having transfers is handy. Evan Nilsson to João Pedro is quite tempting. It is quite tempting because if Enzo's out, João Pedro's probably on penalties this week, and then he's got Sunderland. And then the next 3 fixtures aren't bad either. And I did joke around about how Evan Nilsson matches João Pedro every week, or most weeks, since Wildcard 4. But that's going to end soon, and I might just wish I'd started with João Pedro. So yeah, maybe I'd do that. But otherwise, I don't think I would do anything different. I mean, the move that I think people would do for my team if they had 2 transfers is Gyökeres and Bruno out. Maybe I would think about that a bit more. Like Gyökeres to João Pedro, Bruno Fernandes to Saka. Maybe. But honestly, I think I would do Evan Nilsson to João Pedro and roll instead. Kartik, thank you. Attaboy, bench boost with flag players, Anthony, Enzo, and Alderete. That feels like a bit too much of a risk for me. Although, yeah, I'm not convinced Enzo starts now, to be honest. So I'd be tempted to delay the bench boost. Why don't I bench boost? Because I've already used it. On wildcard, and I'm now regretting it. Why are you regretting it? I really want Saka, but I already have Gabriel, Gyökeres, and Raya. Would you transfer out one of those? Have 3 free transfers? Yeah, I think doing Gyökeres to Saka is fine. Especially if you've got 3 transfers. Because you can do that in 2 moves and then still have 2 next week. Am I worried I don't have any Liverpool players? I'm worried about your eyesight more than Liverpool players. Maybe a trip to Specsavers is in order. Foden, was that a bit harsh? I feel like as soon as I said that, I thought that's a little bit harsh. I'm on early. No, I always start at 9 for a 11 a.m. deadline. Okay. So I'm glad someone else said this. And by the way, before I read this comment out, I will say I really like Saka. If I was on wildcard, I would definitely have him. I definitely wish I had Saka over Gyökeres. So I'm not trying to say that he's a bad option, right? But I'm going to read this comment out. I really don't see the reason to hop on Saka so early after 1 penalty. I'm keeping my Bruno. Honestly, if Saka doesn't score that penalty, exactly. If Arsenal don't get a penalty, is everyone so excited about Saka? Now, to be fair, to counter my own little point there, getting the info that Saka is first choice penalty taker is quite big. But that's what it is. Bruno missed a penalty. Saka scored one. And now everyone wants Saka. It would have been... Do you know what would have been really fun, especially as a non-Saka owner, if he'd missed that penalty? And then imagine the uproar about Yorkresh and stuff like that. Yeah, I agree. I think Saka's a really good pick, but maybe the hype is a little bit too big. But also, his ownership's quite low, so, do you know, I take it all back. He's just a good pick. I like him. I take all that back, what I just said. Foden to Verts for my last free transfer. I'm a red. I would keep Foden, personally. Keane and Caicedo yellow flag. Should I bench boost? I don't think... Well, with Keane, Branthwaite is back now. I can't remember what Keane's... what was the news on Keane? Okay, Keane should be... Yeah, I don't think Branthwaite's going to come back in. I think Caicedo will start. I think you can probably bench boost. Although Keane's got Man City away. You're not going to have a better bench soon? Bench 1, Reinders, Gakpo, Paquetá, Bruno, Semenyo. Ooh. What did I put on benching order yesterday? Did I put Reinders ahead of Bruno? I think I did. So I'd probably bench Bruno out of those, I think. That feels horrible. I probably would do. Wasn't Saka's penalty his 100th goal in his 200th game? I think he took for the numbers Yorkresh's first choice. No, I think that's what people said to kind of make themselves feel better about owning Yorkresh. I think it's, as a Yorkresh owner, I think it's pretty clear that Saka is first choice. But what's not clear is who takes the next penalty, in my opinion. I think it could still be Yorkresh, but we'll see. Penalty goal should only return 3 points. Meh. I don't see why. I think they should return 4. I just think they should price in penalties to the price of players, basically. I mean, Bruno's 9 million. Like, when he was priced at 9 million, I thought it was too expensive. Now I definitely do. That Alderete section was short in the ticker. One free transfer. Watkins to Voltemada. Fernandes to Saka -4. W to W funds the F to S. Okay. Watkins to Voltemada funds the Fernandes to Saka. Okay. Or roll. Probably just roll. Part 2. Start Dubravka or Sanchez. Away to Forest. Home to... I'd probably start Dubravka, I think. On bench boost and 3 free transfers. Salah out before Man United at home. Okay, Salah, Richarlison... Okay, now I understand it. Salah, Richarlison, Dewsbury Hall to João Pedro, Saka, Gordon. A good move. Yeah, it doesn't feel right removing Salah before United, but if you're going to bench boost, why not have a good bench, right? So I quite like those moves. AI transfer suggesting Yorkresh and Van der Ven to Mateta and Timber. Already have 2 Arsenal defence. Would you rather keep... Oh, so you go triple Arsenal defence? I mean, triple Arsenal defence is fine, to be honest. I mean, I would just keep Yorkresh and Van der Ven and roll, personally. Like, why does Van der Ven... You don't need to sell Van der Ven this week. I would come back to it next week. Gabriel, Gay, Richards, Senesi, and Van der Ven start 3. Gabriel... I'd probably... You've probably got Semenyo, so it feels bad to go double Palace. But I'd probably go double Palace and Gabriel, I think. What team would you... Actually, let me just... I just want to double check something. I'm going to go and check Rob T's numbers for clean sheets. Who's higher, Palace or Spurs? I'm going to guess without looking. I mean, Bournemouth defence is good. Palace defence is probably on a par with... Do you know what? I think Spurs are probably going to be higher, actually. 31% for Spurs, 29% for Palace. Yeah, okay. But Van der Ven's not as good for defensive contributions, is he? I'll say Gabriel, Gay and Van der Ven. What team would you pick if you had free hit? I've not really thought about free hit too much, but Haaland... I mean, I'm going to do this off the top of my head, right? And I'm not going to think about prices. Probably Vardiol, Foden, Haaland. You could just go to Reinders if you can't afford Foden, I guess. Salah... Isak, if you could afford it somehow. Although this already feels quite expensive. Like, I'd probably go Isak over Saka. Maybe on a free hit. And then I don't know. A couple of Arsenal defenders, probably. Something like that. Why is nobody picking Rice? Because lots of people have like an attacker and 2 defenders, basically. Like, I've said this before. Rice is a... Rice is a good 6.5 million midfielder, but I don't think he's part of the best 3 Arsenal picks. If that makes sense. So Rice will probably do quite well compared to like an Enzo and Sarr, etc. But I don't think he's the best of the like. If you were picking 3 on wildcard this week, you wouldn't pick Rice, right? Like Gabriel would be the first name on the team sheet, probably then Saka, then one more. Is that Rice? I don't know. There's a lot of options in midfield. Van de Ven or Goodmanson? Probably Van de Ven, although I'm going to check the clean sheet odds again. Thanks, Rob. Oh, Leeds are actually... Leeds on 36%. Ooh. I'm going to switch to Goodmanson. Switching Jai for Jaden Anthony this week flagged, though. No, I would just keep Jai. Keep King or bring in a midfield under 5.2 bench boost. I'd probably just keep King. 3 free transfers, Gyökeres, Njai to Saka, João Pedro. Is Stavio a bad gamble? He probably does start, but his minutes aren't like fully secure week to week, so I probably wouldn't go there. 31 months, Omar. Thank you. I have Salah and have 1 free transfer. Okay. Should I transfer out Salah and for Semenyo or do a -4 and get someone else or not? I would just keep Salah. Honestly, Salah's like a big differential now. Really. And I know his overall ownership's quite high, but there's a lot of dead teams out there. In terms of engaged managers, Salah's quite a differential. Yeah, and it's Man United at home. There's no way I would take a -4 to get rid of Salah. Have you covered Caicedo yet? Is he playing? We don't know. I think he probably will. In Burmo and Gyökeres to Saka and Voltemar, the chances of Enzo news. I mean, it's the first game, so maybe, but I don't know. In Burma and Gyökeres to Saka and Voltemar. I would probably go for Bowen or João Pedro over Voltemar, but it's fine, yeah. There's no Enzo news. You're not going to get it this early, honestly. Like, the deadline's not for another hour and a half. I mean, maybe you might start getting some news about whether he's travelled soon. Romero for Timber for the Arsenal defensive double-up. I prefer Timber to Romero, yes, although you don't necessarily need to make that move this week. Because Romero is fine. What to do with Gakpo if you have him? Long term, I'd want a plan of when I'm going to get rid of him, but I think it's okay to keep him this week. He probably starts, and it's a good fixture for Liverpool. Will Tosin start if I need to bench boost, or should I wait? I think he probably starts. Maresca, what did Maresca say about Enzo? He basically said he didn't join in the session yesterday. I don't know if I am paraphrasing. He basically said if he doesn't train today on Friday, then he'll be out, and he wasn't spotted in training. I'm sure he said that. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he basically said about Pedro, Neto, Caicedo, Enzo. If they don't train, they'll be out. Then again, Caicedo wasn't pictured, and I think he'll start. So I don't know. I don't think Enzo starts on current information, but I don't think it's completely. I wouldn't put it at 0%. I still think there's a small chance, but my prediction will be that he's benched on current news. For the 1 millionth time, Rodon or Senesi. Sorry, you're gonna have to wait until you've asked 2 million times, and then I will answer. Chelsea looking good or bad at the moment? Asking all of you and the boss in the chair have not had time to watch football right now. I think Chelsea are fine. I think missing Palmer doesn't help. Obviously, if Enzo's out, that's not going to help either. Doesn't help me because I've gone for them in last man standing this week, Chelsea. I decided to use them. This week rather than save them for next week. Would a -4 justify a bench boost, or just wait for next week for 2 free transfers and bench boost then? I mean, I can't really answer that because I don't know what your team will look like next week. But basically, if you can get a pretty good bench boost next week for free, rather than do a -4 this week, that seems better. Any changes to your wildcard lineup from your previous video? I've not thought about wildcard since I made that video, if I'm completely honest. Like, I'm not on wildcard this week, so I've not been giving it major thought. I can't even remember what that team was, To be honest with you, it probably had Enzo Fernandez, so I guess you'd have to take that into consideration. I'm just bringing it up here. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I would definitely go for Munoz, but again, I've not thought about it much. Pope, probably yes. Double Arsenal defense and Saka, yes. I'm not sure I would go for Paquetá because I feel like he's a transfer in 4 weeks' time. So I'd probably just go to, I don't know, Minter or something like that. The rest of it looks okay to me. You could always bench Enzo for Calvert-Lewin. So yeah, I don't think I would change much, but I've not thought about it since I made that video last week. You can't write for the millionth. Oh, do you know what, Timothy? Okay. I was about to say you can't write for the 1 millionth time again, but you wrote for the 1 millionth from one time, so I'm going to answer. I like that. I like that. Rodon or Senesi? Probably Rodon. Probably Rodon. I thought you'd just put the same message again. I appreciate that. You took it the right way. That's good. Bowen, Mateta, João Pedro, outright best forward for the next few weeks. Also, what to do with Richarlison, looking sharp, and all the best for this week. Who's looking sharp? Richarlison. Richarlison I would get rid of as soon as you can. Bowen, Mateta, João Pedro. I don't know who I prefer. So Mateta I think you buy in game week 10 rather than this week. I think I just about prefer Bowen to João Pedro, but the fact that João Pedro might be on penalties this week, and he's 7.6 now, there's part of me that thinks Bowen is the better option for the next 4, but I'd be really tempted to buy João Pedro instead, in all honesty. But then again, Bowen's much lower owned, so yeah, I don't know. Mateta 10, I say Bowen, but I'd be really tempted by João Pedro. Bench 1, Strand Larsen, Minter, Enzo. Honestly, on current info, probably Enzo. Dubravka, Pope, I'd start Dubravka. Rory, how's it going? Bench in Burmo or Jaden Anthony? Oof. I mean, Jaden Anthony leads at home, probably starts, but he is flagged, right? Is he still flagged? Oh, God, am I really going to say Jaden Anthony over in Burmo? I probably am, yeah. I'd probably bench in Burmo. Yeah, why not? Would I sell Xavi? I don't know if I would, you know. Because I'm struggling with which midfield. Like, if you've already got Senesi and you can't get to Saka, etc., which midfielder do you even buy this week? Like, Xavi Simons probably starts. It's Villa at home. You could just buy Enzo next week, right? You think Enzo and Neto were spotted in training yesterday. Where have you seen that, though? Because there was 50... I don't know if any new photos have been released, but there's 50 photos released yesterday of training for Chelsea, and Enzo wasn't in any of them. They might have trained. They might not have They might just not have taken a photo of him, or they might have asked for the photo not to be put up so they can keep people guessing. No, other people can't do the millionth time thing now. That just doesn't work, you know. That's not how this works. I need a 5.3 million midfielder. Any suggestions? I'm gonna have to bring up midfielders that cost less than 5.3 million because honestly, I can't even think. Oh, probably Xhaka, yeah. Probably Xhaka. Although the fixtures do get pretty bad now for Sunderland. If we knew Marlon was going to keep starting, I would definitely go for him. I mean, Longstaff's only 4.9. King's only 4.5. I don't know if I would buy Xhaka, you know. He probably is the best one, but the fixtures do turn now. But I guess that's not bad for defensive. He's still got Wolves and Everton in the next 3. Yeah, I'll say Xhaka. Yeah, I'll say Xhaka. I don't mind King for 4.5 either and just completely tank that spot. Yorkresh to Saka switch requires Mateta. Crystal Palace asset better from game week 10, so don't feel the urgency, but hate starting Dewsbury Hall Njai this week. Njai to Enzo seems an okay move. But I mean, Njai to Enzo would be a really good move if you were confident that Enzo starts, which I'm not sure you can be right now. So starting Njai on penalty seems okay. Dewsbury Hall or Tijani Reinders. To start this week, Reinders, easy, I think. Voltemada or Mateta. Oh, on wildcard. Yeah, Reinders over Dewsbury Hall. Oh, Mateta means Dewsbury Hall. You could go Xhaka. You could go Mateta and Xhaka. Seems okay. I think I prefer Mateta over Voltemada. Eze or triple Arsenal defence. Oof. I quite like triple Arsenal defence, honestly. They're both fine. Start Goodmanson or Senesi. 6 months. Start Goodmanson or Senesi. Goodmanson and Anderson or Stack. Or start both defenders and bench the midfielders. No, I'd probably play Stack and Goodmanson. Sell Richarlison if yes to who? João Pedro or Bowen probably. And yes, I probably would sell him if you got a free transfer. Would you get Bowen now and then switch to Mateta in 10? Well, if you get Bowen, you're keeping him until 12, I think. So yeah, I would probably just go Bowen and keep him. Alex is on fire, new member, thank you. Will Adoretti start? I think he probably will, yeah. Overall thoughts on Stavio, just too much of a minutes risk or genuine potential quality as a differential? I've not actually checked his numbers, to be honest. Like, he looks like a really good player. I think the minutes would just really put me off. Wait, where is... Oh, yeah. Oof. His underlying numbers are unreal. Obviously, very small sample size. Wait, how... Why can't I... Oh. I was wondering why I couldn't find him. It's because I was still on 5.3 million midfielders. Yeah, I mean, he didn't even start the last game. Like, the minutes are just not there. They're just not there. You're pronouncing Stavio wrong. I thought you don't pronounce the E. I thought most of us say Estavio, and it's just Stavio. When I was pronouncing it Estavio, people said it was wrong. You don't pronounce the E. Foden to Enzo. I would just keep Foden, and Romero to Chalobah for game week 9. I would just maybe do it next week instead. Roll and do it at 2 free transfers next week, possibly. Rami, that's your whole team. Do you think it's okay for the bench boost? Well, what's your bench, though? That's your whole team. What's the actual bench? Dubravka, one of those defenders is fine. 2 of those defenders even. Yeah, one of those midfielders is fine. Yeah, bench boost looks okay to me. I'm not completely sure what you think your bench is, but it's probably like Dubravka, 2 of the defenders, and Caicedo. Probably fine. Buy one between Gabriel for Van der Ven, have Timber already, or Enzo Eze for Rodgers, or João Pedro for Evan Nielsen. I would get Gabriel, and then I would sell Rodgers next week. Should I play João Pedro and Ekitike, or bench one and play Reinders? I would probably play Reinders over Ekitike, because I don't think Ekitike will start. Want to bench boost this week, but have Lyle Foster. My bench boost this week is Dubravka, Senesi, Anderson, Foster. But bench next week is Dubravka, Rodon, Anderson, Foster. You're gonna make me look. You're gonna make me look up those fixtures. So Burnley next week have the stupid. I mean, Wolves away is fine. So the Burnley players are fine next week. Senesi's good next week, and Anderson has Bournemouth away. Yeah, I'd maybe delay in your case. I think next week's okay if you're not sure about Foster. FPL Victoria's Secret 30 months. Richarlison to Calvert-Lewin and save money for future moves, or Bowen. I mean, you know what the answer is. What do you need the money for? If you're not sure, I would just get Bowen. Unless there's anything major you can see on the horizon, just get Bowen. 2 free transfers, Bruno and Watkins to Saka and Bowen / Voltemada. Yeah, I think that's fine. If you want to do it, I would go Bowen. Pranav, 36 months. Bench boost with Dubravka, Senesi, Reinders, Alderete or not. I would bench boost that, yeah. Is Reinders really on your bench? Maybe. I would bench boost that. Stranger Man, 50 months. Is Yorkeresh, Bruno, and Jai out to Saka, Enzo, Voltemada okay? It's okay. No, actually, I wouldn't buy Enzo this week, right, on current info. So I think I would roll to 4 free transfers, actually, personally. Love your content more than you love Bruno. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that can be true. Dude has been talking about Stavio the whole time. That's not how you say its name. Ha 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 ha. What? Instead of like just writing lots of ha 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 ha's, why don't you just tell me how to say it? How am I saying it wrong? How are you supposed to say it? Help me out. I'm willing to learn. You don't have to be a douchebag about it. Esteval. Okay, but you don't pronounce the E, right? Esteval, isn't it? Esteval. 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 Okay. So you do pronounce the E. Just tell me that. Do you pronounce the E? Esteval. Estavio. Okay, yeah. Esteval. Fair enough. Stephen. Stephen would be easier for me. I can pronounce that. Esteval. It's just Esteval. That's what I thought. You don't pronounce the E, right? Lots of people saying you do pronounce the E. Okay. Let's just call him Steve. That's what a lot of people are doing. Oh, it is the okay. So it's the Portuguese variant of the name Stephen. Hang on. This guy on YouTube, it's not even saying Esteval. He's saying Estavo. He's like, he's saying it really slow. Estavo, he's saying Estavo. Esteval. Okay. Esteval. I'll try and remember that now. Try and remember that. Wait till we have to start talking about Incapié. that could get even worse. Pope or Dubravka this week? I played Dubravka, I think. Luke, already have Raya and Eze. Would you do Bruno to Saka or Porro to Timber? I quite like the double defense longer term, to be honest. But I'd rather have. I think longer term, I'd rather have Timber and Bruno than Saka and Porro, I think. Have a drink on me, thank you. I'll have a nice Coke Zero. 4 free transfers. Oof, all these people with their free transfers showing off. I wish I had 4 free transfers. Yorkres, Bruno, and Foden to Isak, Saka, and Enzo. Am I overthinking and just do Bruno to Saka and leave 4 free transfers? Oh, yeah, I think that's better. You don't need to sell Foden this week. And buying Enzo doesn't feel great. Is it worth playing if your kid who's watched football for 3 years starts beating you? Is it all data-driven? Eye test can go to the bin, my kid says. You got a kid that's telling you this data-driven. What a kid that is. Yeah, who needs the eye test? Who needs the eye test anyway? Yeah, of course it's worth keep playing because you got to beat him by the end of the season. What's the news on Enzo? There is no news really. As far as we know, he hasn't trained, but we can't obviously 100% guarantee that. Esteval. No, wait. Yeah, Esteval. Keep saying it. You think it's Hinkapi? I think it's something close to Incapié. I think that's close to what it is. But for clarification, I'm talking about the defender from Arsenal, spelled Hincapie. I think it's something like Incapié. I recorded like the team news bit of where I had Arsenal yesterday. And I did the first 2 bits. Then I came on to Arsenal. I completely butchered the name. I had to start again. I almost like recovered, and I just didn't. For the first time, hey Andy, got 4 free transfers. Nice. Yorkres, Bruno, and Njai to Voltemada, Mateta, Saka and Gordon / Sharp. Or am I just using transfers for the sake of it? It does feel a little like, basically, I think Yorkres, Bruno, and Njai are all probably okay next week. But if you want Saka, it's also fine. Like, I don't think personally it's a great time to buy Voltemada. Like, 3 of the next 4 are away. He's fine, but not much more than that. Mateta is Arsenal away next week. So Sarr. And obviously Gordon's the same fixtures as... Like, in my opinion, right, the 3 players you're selling are all fine. And the 3 players you're buying are all fine. I don't think... Well, Saka's pretty good. I don't think you're making massive upgrades, I would say. But if you've got nothing else to do next week and you prefer to go and get Saka now, then it's fine. I'm Canadian and don't do FPL, but I'm running a parlay with Norwich W, in brackets Bristol, Sargent goal, and Sheffield United. Sheffield United W, Watford, Campbell goal, Hamer assist plus 8,000. I'm also not Canadian, and I don't even know what that says. I got, what's a parlay? Is that a bet? With Norwich W in brackets Bristol. I mean, I know what all these words are. I just don't know what they mean when you put them together. Like I can read the words, but that's about it. Sheffield United W in brackets Watford. Campbell goal, Hamer assist plus 8,000. Why not plus 9,000? Why only 8,000? Okay, yeah, W is win. Okay, so Norwich win over. Right? First of all, you can't just say Bristol. And Norwich playing Bristol City. Yeah, you can't just say Bristol. It's got to be Bristol City or Bristol Rovers. There's two teams there. So Norwich win over Bristol City, Sargent goal, and Sheffield United win over Watford, Campbell goal, Hamer assist, plus 8,000. I would go for plus 9,000, but that's just me. I don't even know what that means, by the way. What does plus 8,000 mean? Hang on. Sorry, not only have you put a super chat in, you're also a member, and you said you don't do FPL. I mean, I appreciate it, but it feels like a weird... It feels weird to be a member of an FPL channel when you don't do FPL. Plus 8,000 is American odds. It's bet $10, get 800. Yeah, I mean, gamble responsibly, of course. I got no... I don't... Like, I don't know. I mean, Norwich to beat Bristol City? Probably, I guess, yeah. I don't think I can give you advice anyway. You just subbed. Why did you sub? If you don't play FPL, this is pure FPL channel. That's it. How's the 50k for the stream? We haven't clocked up 50k yet. We've still got an hour to go. We're probably on about 25ish right now, maybe a little bit less. Plus 8,000. I've just never seen it like that. You don't have to apologize, by the way. I'm just trying to save you some money. I just do FPL, and I don't even do that particularly well. Matthew, new member, thank you. Should I bench boost Dubravka, Caicedo, Goodmanson, Botman? Probably, unless that bench is going to be much better in the next few weeks. Estev, Njai, Porro, Van de Ven, Bruno, bench 2. I would probably play Bruno and... I'd play Bruno, Njai, and Porro, I think. On a Salah Haaland draft, 4 free transfers, 0.3 in the bank. Issue is I have to play Mateta, Semenyo, with Senesi, Gay, Munoz. Why is that an issue, though? I mean, you could just bench... No, you're not going to bench. Just play Mateta, Semenyo, and Munoz, no? Otherwise, go and get an Arsenal defender if you can. Well, you haven't got enough money, though. What other defender would you even buy right now? Chelsea one, maybe? Tosin? Like, Gay to Tosin? It doesn't feel great long term. I'd maybe just roll. Start 3 from Gabriel, Munoz, Burn, and Senesi. I would bench Senesi out of those. Do you have any idea about Richarlison, whether he'll be playing this weekend? I don't have any inside info. I think he probably will start, but I can't guarantee it. Would you bench him instead of Kudus? I would definitely play Kudus over Richarlison, 100%. Keep Xavi for Villa or make the move to Paquetá. I would keep Xavi. I think there'll be more interesting midfielders to buy soon rather than Paquetá. Strictly FPL. That is a different kind of channel. Why haven't you uploaded on your second channel? I don't know what to do on there really. I've got like analysis paralysis. Like I'm like, should I put some videos on that second channel? Should I like stream some games? Can I become a World of Warcraft streamer? You know, can I do FPL in Canada? You can, yeah. You can for sure. FPL is a worldwide game. Bjorn, new member, thank you. I mean, there's lots of new members today. Hopefully you're not going to ask me about plus 9,000 Norwich versus Bristol City. Ben, thank you. 19-hour layover sucks. That does sound like it will suck. New Football Manager out soon. Yeah. Yeah, I might play that a bit. I'll see. Just walk and talk. But talk about what, though? FPL is banned in Canada. Surely not. Baldur's Gate, probably not going to happen. Start Reinders or Sar. Need you to drop your diet lifestyle tips for that transformation. Yeah, maybe I could talk about that. P.S. I'm going to go DEFCON crazy and Salah and Haaland +1 differential every week from game week 12. Nice. That's kind of what I'm on the DEFCON craze. I mean, look at my team. It's all centre backs. And 5 of them as well. Got a bit of ice in my mouth. I need to crunch it. Hopefully I muted in time then. Spend 50k on a fan. I'm not sure how much money you think I've got. Oh, but I could just use the stream on it, can I? Could just use the money from this stream. Stream old school RuneScape. I've never played it. I captain Salah over Haaland. Thoughts? I don't hate it. I honestly, I think Haaland's the best captain, but I don't think it's by a mile. Salah's a big differential, you know. Early for a glass of JD and Coke. Is it? Believe it or not, you have an audience and are probably just interested in you as a person. I quite enjoy vlogs talking about anything really. I just don't think I'm that interesting. Like honestly, I think one of the reasons that I love FPL, or sorry, I love FPL anyway. One of the reasons I like doing FPL content is you don't really have to think about it. Like stuff just throws, like just stuff to talk about just comes your way. You don't have to like, I don't know. Let's say Semenyo gets injured this week. What's everyone going to want to talk about next week? Who to buy for Semenyo? So I don't have to think about it. Like I wouldn't. I'm just not super creative really. So like having to like, it's all well and good doing like a walking and talking vlog, but you need something to talk about. You can't just. I'm just not that interesting. I'm sure that comes across, but if it doesn't, that is the case. I just always throw a bet on Norwich to win and Sargent to score into a NHL, baseball, NFL parlay. Parlay sounds so posh. Parlay's just a bet, right? And it always makes the payout insane. I only get like $10 per parlay. I don't get degenerate. Fair enough. On wildcard, should I get Xhaka and save 0.7 million or Reinders? I still think Reinders is quite a good long-term hold. But fifth midfield, if that's your fifth midfielder / eighth attacker, i.e. you've got 3 good forwards, I'd maybe just go Xhaka and save the money. That's what makes you interesting. You're just a normal, boring dude. Being boring's fine. Nothing wrong with being boring. Talk about how hard it is to find things to talk about. Yeah, that'll last a few minutes. I'm on wildcard and have Enzo. Would you bench him this week and play Xhaka or transfer him out for say Sarr? No, I would start with Enzo. I reckon I'd probably play him and hope for the best. And then worst case, Enzo doesn't play and Xhaka comes off the bench, right? Bowen, Voltemada, or João Pedro. I'm set for wildcard 12. I mean, Bowen seems kind of perfect for that, right? 3 home games next 4. The away games lead, sorry. And then 12's the perfect time to jump off him. So probably Bowen with João Pedro a close second and Voltemada, not really that bothered. Like, he's fine, but if you're wildcard 12, I don't think he's the one you go for. Bench boost with Dubravka, Senesi, Estev, and Grealish on the bench. Grealish can't play, so probably not. Sports Mole is reporting Enzo was spotted in training yesterday. Is Sports Mole reliable? I've never heard of that. To be honest, I don't know what a Sports Mole is. I don't think. So they could be reliable, but I can't tell you if they're reliable. The latest breaking sports news and live coverage around the clock. I don't know. Pick 2 of Tarkovsky, Senesi, Rodon. I'd bench Tarkovsky and 1 of Njai Caicedo. I would probably bench Caicedo. Oh, a parlay is an accumulator. Okay. A parlay. It just sounds like really posh. Like when it feels like you've got to say it in a posh way. I can't just say, oh, it's a parlay. It's a parlay. But yeah, I get it. Sportsmore is a reliable website. There you go. I don't see them tweeting about Enzo though, so I don't know where they've said an underground-based company. I like it. So what are they saying? Where is that? I don't see anything about Enzo. People saying they're fairly reliable. Okay. 2 in. Okay, let me see what they're writing here. I don't see anything about Enzo in training, unless I'm missing something. But I could be wrong. New member, thanks for the streams. Rarely get to watch live, but you've helped me win my Worksman League last 2 years. Boom, and top this season. Nice. Thanks for watching and for becoming a member. And for the super chat. Do you think Reinders will outscore Byrne? Probably this week, yeah. Pedro or Bowen? I'm going to say Bowen just about, but I do really like João Pedro. Cavalier and a Minter / Paquetá and 0.8 million of Voltemada and Xhaka on wildcard bench boost 9. I prefer Cavalier and a Minter or Paquetá. If the bench works out. You'd have to go and... I don't know what the rest of the team is, so I don't know what the bench is going to look like. But if the bench is fine, Cavalier and a Minter probably. Double Burnley defence with Estevan Dubravka or start Lacroix and Sanchez. I would start Lacroix and Dubravka, I think. Porro / Van der Ven to Timber / Tosin for free. If you can do Van der Ven to Timber and just keep Porro one more week, that's what I would prefer. But don't hate it. Is FPL better? No, FPL is just like fantasy football, basically. Alderete is yellow flagged, I think, but he's probably going to start. Interesting. Okay, this is what Sportsmore have said. Hang on, I've got the site here. Let me just. Oh yeah. Interestingly, Fernandes was also reportedly spotted, indicating that the Argentinian midfielder could feature. Okay, I was reportedly spotted. So they're not reporting it. They're reporting that someone else has said it. Who has said it? Because if they knew, they'd say he was, right? Or we've got sources. They're saying that someone else... Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Enzo starts. I think if I had Enzo in my team... But this is how I feel about it right now on current info. If I've got him, I'm starting him. I'm not selling him. And I'm not buying him. And I'm probably including him on wildcard. And that's it. Would you consider playing Dubravka over Pope? I would play Dubravka over Pope, I think. Second channel, you could watch movies / TV shows you haven't seen before and give us your unique reaction. I'm sure that would be entertaining. Honestly, you really don't want me to do that. Basically, it'd be like, yeah, I liked it or I disliked it. I don't like critically analyze TV shows. I just watch it and I either like it or I didn't. Simple as that. On wildcard, Truffert... And like I said, I'm a very boring guy. You don't need more content from me. On wildcard, Truffert and Tarkovsky or Senesi and Lacroix. Probably Senesi and Lacroix, I think. Just about. I think game week 10 onwards, Palace are pretty good. They're not bad this week either. Alpen or Weetabix? I've never had Alpen. Any thoughts on Liverpool midfielders not named Salah? Yeah, I probably wouldn't buy any of them. Because of minutes. If you're going to go for one, I actually think I probably prefer Gakpo over Wirtz. But don't read much in it. Pull up all the fixtures for today and give me your predictions, win, draw, and I'll run a 7-leg parlay. I'm not gonna get into betting stuff. Sorry, I'm not gonna get into betting stuff. I mean, I guess I can tell you my predictions, like all the fixtures for today in the Premier League. No, I don't want to get into that. I'm just gonna focus on the old fantasy football. Stop sending me money, by the way. Like, if you don't play FPL, stop sending me money. If you didn't have Raya, would you do Bruno to Saka for a free transfer? Yeah, quite possibly. Start Roof's start over Pope. Yeah, definitely. Only one on the fence of is Bournemouth Palace. I think that'd be quite a close game. Could be a draw, that. Start Porro or Goodmanson. Porro probably, just about. Bruno and Yorkesh is Saka and João Pedro -4 or roll. I'd roll that. Let me just give you a word of warning, though, to the Bruno owners that are like trying to do anything to get rid of him. He's probably going to blank this week because it's Liverpool away. So although he'll look better next week, you're probably going to go into next week with a blank this week. If that's going to like really frustrate you, just sell him. Start 2, bench 2, Burn, Rodon, Romero, Senesi. I'd bench Burn and Senesi. Looking to bench boost this week and have Strand Larson and Ekatike in my team. Oof. Should I roll or transfer one for Voltamada? I would transfer Ekatike out if you're going to bench boost. Will this player start, or will another player start, or maybe a third player? You must know, even if it hasn't been announced. Well, sometimes you can make a guess. I know what you're trying to say, but sometimes you can make a guess, right? Bench boost, Pope, Calvert-Lewin, Senesi, and Alderete. Yes. Start Senesi or Mukiele. Mukiele. That's another player I need to make sure I'm saying the name of right, by the way. Mukiele. Mukiele? Mukiele? Thoughts on Garnacho this week? He probably starts. And it's a good fixture. I had a dream Bruno scored a penalty. I didn't have that dream. But I hope it happens. I really need my Van Dijk clean sheet wiped out. Like, preferably wiped out like 3 times. You're saying Mukiele, fine. Okay. We're good. What about Esteval? Esteval, Nkapie, Mukiele. We need more. We need more Smiths in the Premier League. Can we get some more Smiths? Next season, could Arsenal sign a backup forward called James Smith? That's what I need. Views on Pope versus Sanchez and Gordon versus Voltamada. I mean, I'd play Gordon over Voltamada. He's on penalties, right? And Pope Sanchez, I'd go Pope. Like longer term. Maybe Sanchez this week, but longer term Pope. Say YouTube is shut down tomorrow. Which platform would you shift to? Don't know. I'm not sure. I hope that doesn't happen. I quite like YouTube, as you can imagine. Have Alderete and Jaden Anthony bench boost? Probably yes. Probably yes. Best wildcard, 5 million mid for bench boost, 11. 11. So Xhaka's got Arsenal at home that week. Dewsbury Hall's got Fulham at home. What's King got? King, I think he's away that week. No, he's at home. Where the hell are Fulham? Oh, yeah, Fulham. Oh, yeah. Idiot. Away to Everton. Yeah, probably Dewsbury Hall. But honestly, if you think Xhaka is better than Dewsbury Hall, I would just get him for the longer term. It's like if one of your players on bench boost is not ideal, but you prefer that player over the long term, you could just get them instead. Leeds away to Forest, like Longstaff or Stack might be okay as well. Triple captain Haaland or João Pedro. Haaland, I guess, if you're going to do it. Have Alderete. Oh, I did that one. My Game Week 8 team is I've got 2 free chances. What should I do? Well, what are you thinking about doing? What are you thinking about doing? I mean, most of those players are fine, so you probably just roll. I mean, Gakpo long term you could sell, but there's not really a problem this week. I mean, that 2.2 million could be quite useful somewhere, but I'm not sure what moves you would make there. Maybe get Saka at some point. It doesn't have to be this week. I'd probably roll, personally. But what are you thinking about doing? Now that Ben White is fit, is Timber a minutes risk? I don't think he's like that much more than he has been. He's going to start the majority of games. Like, would he miss the odd one? Possibly. Do I reckon Richarlison will start? Yes, but I don't know if I can be... I'm not 100% confident about it. Field him or Stev. I'd probably start Richarlison, but I'm not fully confident about it. Don't understand the Enzo pick by some people. He's been woeful for Chelsea except for the occasional penalty. I mean, he's had 1 penalty, right? His underlying numbers are good. He's playing number 10. Probably is on penalties. He's just good. The fixtures are good. I mean, he's got 5 returns in 7 game weeks. Only one of those was a penalty. If you do... A man should know about Sportsmart. I've never heard of Sportsmart until this morning. I'm sure they're great. I'm not saying it's a bad site. I've just never really heard of it, I don't think. I could be wrong. I mean, Enzo might not be good this week, by the way, because he might not start, but that's a little bit different. Bruno to Enzo to fund a Stev to Gabriel. I wouldn't buy Enzo this week now. I have Elanga in my squad, regrettably. Elanga to Gordon or Roll. Elanga probably starts, but long term you need to move that on. So I'd probably, once you got the spare transfers to do it, I'd move him on. Doesn't have to be to Gordon, but it could be. On wildcard, thoughts on Pope / Timber over Ray? And yeah, I would definitely go Pope Timber over Ray and Newcastle defender, 100%. Caicedo or Enzo? Enzo. Ideally bench boost next week. Everyone also talking about Minter. Thoughts? For 6 million or less, he's probably one of the better options. So basically, Pope Timber, Enzo, and I like Minter. My team's in a very good position, top 100k, and haven't had to make many transfers. That's what makes me nervous. Should I force some or wait? Just make some transfers when you need some transfers. If you don't, wait. I'm on 1 free transfer. Jack, by the way, are you still at EA? I'm looking for a Battlefield code. My mates are playing Battlefield. I want to play with them, but I don't, because I know some people at EA. I don't want to or because I knew people at EA. I don't want to pay for it. I want to get a code. I can't find one from anyone. But I want it now. That's a bit cheeky. Someone from EA, if you're watching, I'd love a Battlefield code. I'm probably actually just going to buy it later on, I think. I got to stop eating ice. I feel like you're not at EA anymore, but I could be wrong. 3 free chances, cash to Juve or to start, or roll and start Rodon. I'd probably roll and start Rodon. I don't mind buying Juve, but probably roll if you can. Pick 3 of Gabriel, Porro, Van Dijk, Munoz, Goodmanson. Only 3. Wow. Gabriel, Munoz, and Porro probably. That's a really good defense, though. Maybe bench boost if you can. Who would you play Sarr over in your 11? Reinders, Paquetá, and Evan Nilsson. Probably Evan Nilsson, I guess. Bench 1 of Gordon, Reinders, Calvert-Lewin. Reinders, probably. Sell Isak for João Pedro or keep for United? I would definitely keep him for United. He should start, I think. Use some of your 50k to buy Battlefield. Maybe. If you can get it for free, it's nicer, right? Oh, you're not EA anymore. Nightmare. You secured a code. See, I've already asked. I already got a FIFA code off Joe, so I don't want to ask him about Battlefield as well. I need help. Mateta or Bowen? Bowen, I think, right now. Start 2. Senesi, Ekdal, Alderete, Strand Larson. Strand Larson and Alderete, I think. Eating ice is a sign of low iron. What? I think eating ice is the sign that I've got ice in my glass. Like if I didn't, so you're telling me if I hadn't put ice in my glass this morning, my iron would have been high. Are people playing Battlefield 6? Is it good? Oh wait, hang on. Battlefield 6 is on EA Play Pro for £16 a month. Try it for a month. Oh, okay. So I could. Okay, so I could just do that for a month and then get a code later on. There is someone that can get me a code, but not for a couple of weeks. Is what she said. I need a code, not a disc, because I've got a digital one now. Anyway, sorry. Just stop talking about Battlefield 6 and me trying to flag a free game. Okay, sorry. Let me get back to FPL, which I think is what we're supposed to talk about. Bowen and Caicedo. Actually, do you know what? A month of EA Play would be good because then I can just buy COD next month and not worry about Battlefield. Bowen and Caicedo or João Pedro and Paquetá? Bowen and Caicedo. João Pedro and Paquetá. Minter and Chalobah or Enzo and Mavropanos? Oof. I mean, oh god, Enzo and Mavropanos probably. But if I was buying this week, I would go Minter and Chalobah because, Enzo we don't know if he's going to play. Right. Start 2 of Tarkowski / Van der Ven / Goodmanson / Hartman. Probably Why am I trying to remind myself of fixtures here? Oh, of course, Tarkovsky's away to Man City. Goodmanson, I go double. Oh, sorry, Goodmanson and Hartman, and hope for a 0-0. Should you bench boost Dubravka, Estev, Papsar, and Joachim Andersen? Will Sarr start? I think he's been starting the majority. I don't know if it's a guarantee. I feel like that's not a great bench boost. Mamadashvili on wildcard, I'll just go Areola budget keeper. I wouldn't go for Mamadashvili because as soon as Alisson's back, he's back in, right? You can even just go Dubravka for cheap. How much is Areola? Areola's 4.3. I would just go Dubravka, honestly. Haaland for a hat-trick is a juicy play. Yeah, I'm not sure he's going to score a hat-trick, but you never know. I mean, the guy's pretty good. I was thinking Bowen all week until I realised Mateta is a good long-term pick. I'm really not sure. But that's the thing, is how long... Like, if you're willing to, like, sell Bowen again in game week 12, then he's a pretty good shorter-term option. Otherwise, Mateta for the long-term, I like. Yeah, Hermansen is there. I just wouldn't go. I would just get... thingy. Dubravka. Just save the cash. How crazy is Captain Isidore? I wouldn't go there. Areola won't keep his spot. There you go. Ant is a West Ham fan. Yeah, Haaland can always get a hat-trick. Of course he can. Doesn't mean he will. I mean, so far this season, he's had precisely 0 hat-tricks in the Premier League. Start 2, Senesi, Lacroix, Goodmanson, Joachim Andersen. Lacroix and Goodmanson. For sure. I'm gonna check my DMs. 1, to see if we've had an update about Evan Nilsson's barber, and 2, to see if someone sent me a Battlefield code. Unfortunately, it's a no on both. I'm new to FPL. When is typically a good time to triple captain? Well, you've got to use it in the first 19 weeks this season. So Haaland's got like Leeds at home, I think, game week 13. Salah's got Sunderland at home, game week 14. Those kind of weeks is probably what you're looking at. Gakpo to Eze or roll. I'd be very tempted to roll. I think if you're a Gakpo owner, you're going to have this thought about potentially selling him every week, but he is a good option this week. 5 free transfers, Bruno and Yorkresh to Bowen and Saka. Like it. What platform do I need for Battlefield 6? PS5. Love the length on the Alderete update and the ticker. I know, I don't usually put the full quotes. I mean, I could change that. I'm just glad people are reading it, to be honest. Stephen, 90 months. 90? Hang on. I've got to divide that by 12. 7.5 years. 7.5 years. Honestly, that's ridiculous. I've only been like making videos for nearly 9. Would you do... I like that younger me decided to put memberships on so quick, though. Thanks for that. Would you do Bruno and Watkins / Evan Nilsson to Saka and João Pedro for a -4? If you could pick one of those, then which would you prioritise? I do. Which would I prioritise? Probably what? Hang on. I can't remember what Watkins' fixtures are like after this. Oh yeah, I'd get rid of Watkins, I think. Well, the fixtures are quite good game week 11, but they're pretty rough before that. I think I'd prioritise Watkins to João Pedro, probably. I wouldn't take a -4. But again, I don't hate it if you want to get rid of Bruno. Go for it. Doing this, do you ever stop and think, what am I talking about, and lose the will to live? I mean, I've kind of lost the will to live after reading that comment, yeah. Yeah. That's a shame. Play Kudus or Semenyo. I know Kudus has got the better fixture, but I don't think you can bench Semenyo right now. Ideally, you play both. Have 3 free transfers. Richarlison out for Bowen. Mateta or João Pedro. Tarkovsky out for Richards to free up funds. Should I play Stack ahead of Njai? I'd probably play Njai ahead of Stack just about for the penalties. I would go for Bowen. Probably Bowen short term. Mateta if you want the longer term pick. And Richards is good. Starting Jai or Reiners in Jai. Burn and Juve or Chow and Gay? Probably Burn and Juve, I think. Play Kudus. Oh, I did that one. Bench one of Rice, Reinders, or Mateta for Saka. I would play Saka over all of them. I would probably bench Reinders out of those four. Play Saka and Njai, or do Njai to Sar 3-3 transfers. Njai to Sar is fine, but Njai is also quite good from next week. So I'd probably roll and play Njai. Any chance of leaks of Enzo starting? There's always a chance. Start one, Senesi, Hartman, Goodmanson. Probably Goodmanson. Would you do Tarkovsky for Vardiol and Bruno or Reinders to Enzo for a better bench boost? I wouldn't buy Enzo. Tarkovsky's Vardiol's okay, yeah. If you're happy to carry them longer term. Pleased to see Western Supermare doing well this season. I didn't know they were doing well, but yeah, I'm glad they're doing well. Any changes to improve this team? Pope, Tim, is this wildcard? Going differential with Isaac. Timber, Senesi, Rodon, Saka, Semenyo, Xhaka, Sarr, Isaac, Haaland, João Pedro, Dubravka, King, Anderson, Tarkovsky. I mean, I like all those players. I don't know if I would go Tarkovsky if that's a wildcard team, but also he's fine. And if the question back to me then, who would you go for instead? Great question. Not sure. Maybe a Palace defender or Gabriel. You've only got. I don't think you've got triple Arsenal, so I'd go Gabriel over Tarkovsky if you can. First time I'm getting to 4 free transfers. Nice, it's a good feeling. I got to 4 free transfers twice last year. And I think the second time was I think I got to 4 and then used 1 or 2 and then got back up to 4 again. Yeah, we'll see how it goes over the next few weeks. I mean, there's going to be a lot of pressure, I think, for me next week to buy a Chelsea attacker because it's Sunderland at home. But to get Enzo, I'm probably going to need 2 free transfers, which I will have. Or I could just do Evan Nilsson to João Pedro, but then why would I not do that this week? I don't know. I might make a transfer next week. We'll see. Stay tuned for exciting. Will I make a transfer or not? Tarkovsky to Rodon. 7.3 for a Reinders replacement. Honestly, I would just probably keep Reinders and Tarkovsky for now. If you're going to go 7.3, I mean, Enzo would be the one, but you can't. I guess Sarr. Game Right said code sent. Where how have you got Battlefield codes? Oh, now I feel bad. I can't. Oh man, that's very kind of you. I can't. Basically, I've asked for a code. Someone sent me a code. Now I feel bad for asking because that makes me look like a douchebag. Because I could have just bought it. Okay. Thanks for that. How have you got codes? I mean, I obviously appreciate you're a gaming channel. My mates will be happy I can play with them now. 3 free transfer. My mates are going to think I'm a complete idiot. Like I won't say the word they're going to think that I am, but they're going to think you can insert your own word. My mates are going to think I'm complete that word for asking for a code and getting one. But thank you. 3 free transfers. Van der Ven to Richards. I would just hold Van der Ven for now. Njai to Sarr. I'd probably hold Njai, but I think that transfer's a bit better. But Sarr's got... Actually, I wouldn't do that. Sarr's got Arsenal next week. Reinders to Caicedo, I wouldn't do that. And bench boost to get it done. Why can't you bench boost with Njai Van... in my opinion, you're using 3 free transfers and not even getting a better bench boost. Dubravka, Goodmanson, King, and dead spot Mark Guiu. I'm a bit confused about what the bit in brackets is, but I don't. You're using 3 free transfers, in my opinion. You're not getting a better bench boost. What if it's fake or used? Well, fair enough, really, isn't it? Is Enzo worth? There's no news on Enzo. Is it worth a risk? Probably not right now. Howdy, thank you. Alex, member for 38 months. Play Senesi or Van der Ven. Van der Ven, I think. What do you think about Isaac on wildcard? I don't mind it, but if the decision is Isaac or Saka, I'm going Saka. Bench boost with Dubravka, Juve, Rodon, Dewsbury Hall, or save for game week 9+. You'd have to go and have a look if your bench is going to be better for game week 9 or later. If not, I would just use it now because that's not a bad bench. Rodon, Juve, and Dubravka are all pretty good. So I don't mind it at all. Do your mates watch you on here? Not really. in before someone says it's because you've not got any mates. I mean, that's partially true. But no, not really. One of them sometimes does watch, but not that often. Dubravka or Raya? Already got Gabriel starting. Raya over Dubravka, I think. I mean, I've got the same decision. I'm playing double Arsenal defence. Hard to bench them. My mates aren't really like massively into FPL. They do play it, but they're not like us. Do you make your living from YouTube? Yes, and I am very grateful for that. On wildcard, Eze and Lacroix versus Minter and Timber. I'm going Minter and Timber, I think. Get that Arsenal defender in there. Bench one, Doku, Reinders or Watkins. Probably Doku because he's the one I'd be least sure about starting. I need Luke here. Luke, if you're watching, message me on WhatsApp. Is Doku going to start? Because if Doku starts, I would probably bench Reinders, but I've always thought not having to look at the keyboard whilst typing fast is wizardry type stuff. It's just like doing it too much, right? You just do it enough and doesn't matter. Sorry, you get used to it. Start one, Van Dijk, Bruno Fernandes or Anderson Forrest. Start one. I think I'd play Bruno over Van Dijk, honestly. Do you know someone who lives in Nottingham? Please ask them if Enzo has travelled. I don't, unfortunately. I think, doesn't Ross, FPL Raptor, live in Nottingham? He used to. Oh, actually, someone's just reminding me on Twitter, FPL Tommy Gunn. Most people are going to have their players playing today. So you're going to know whether you've got a green arrow or not today. Because the only matches we've got after Saturday are Spurs at home to Villa. I guess there are quite a few people with like Kudus and Spurs defenders, to be fair. And then Liverpool, Man United, and then West Ham, Brentford. I've got no players in Spurs Villa, but I do have Van Dijk and Fernandes in the United game. And then I've got Paquetá on Monday. That's what honestly, that is what life. That's what life's all about. Having Paquetá for Monday Night Football in your FPL team. Raptor lives in Birmingham, does he? He definitely used to live in Nottingham, I think. I could be wrong. But also, he's probably streaming right now. Not on the lookout for Enzo. Play Romero or Senesi. Romero. Is it mental to captain João Pedro above Haaland? I wouldn't do it personally, but if you want to do it, go for it. Transfer João Pedro for Voltemada. No chance I would keep João Pedro. Voltemada, Anthony, Sarr, Semenyo, Paquetá, Larson. Bench one. You can't bench Sarr, Semenyo. Paquetá's quite good. Larson's okay. Voltemada or Anthony. Probably Anthony, I think, out of those. You got a good team. Start Van de Ven or Goodmanson. Oh, I'm going to say Goodmanson. I'd start Porro over Goodmanson, but maybe not Van de Ven. United have quite a few Monday games, so we're going to rely on Bruno to save us every week. Oh, please, is that actually true? No, they don't. They have a few coming up. Game week 12, game week 15. I felt like last season, Bruno had quite a few like 4:30 Sunday games or Monday games. And I would always think, this week, if he can just get me something, it'll be a good week. And he didn't get me anything. It happens so many times. Rodgers against Spurs or Sarr versus Sarr all day, every day. If it was Sarr versus Spurs and Rodgers at home to Bournemouth, I think I'd still probably pick Sarr. Use my wild card. Gabriel, Senesi, Kukurea defence. Got Gabriel and Szoboszlai as my only Liverpool. I'm not convinced by Szoboszlai as a pick, but fair enough. Haaland, Bowen up top and double Man United. Dallo and Šeško. Okay. I wouldn't pick Szoboszlai, Šeško or Dallo personally, but it's your team. And I suck at FPL, so you should probably go your way. Saka, Munoz, Bowen for Yorkeresh, Romero, Bruno -4. You don't need to make the defender transfer, do you? Just play Romero. Just make the other two if that's what you want to do. Is Reinders a sell? It may be. Like, I don't think he's part of the best 5 midfielders, but I don't think you have to go out of your way to sell him either. Like, he's okay to hold on to. If Enzo starts, would you do Enzo for Reinders or Bruno? Probably Reinders, in all honesty. Who will win, Palace versus Bournemouth? Probably Palace, but I think it's going to be a close game. I would not be surprised if it's a draw. But I go Palace just about. Anthony Sars, bench 1. You're not going to bench Saka, are you? Come on. No, right, okay, I can't have this. I'm going to have to ban this. You can't ask questions about who to bench and include players like Haaland. That should be a bannable offence, in my opinion. Anthony Sarr, Semenyo. In fact, let me read the rest first. Anthony Sarr, Semenyo, Paquetá, Haaland, Bowen, Baltimore, and Saka bench 1. I would probably bench Haaland out of those, yeah. Currently, Anthony on the bench, want to play them all. Okay, serious now. Yeah, I would probably bench Anthony too. If you don't want to bench Haaland. Yeah, I think that's fair. You've just got a good attack. Like, you've just got good options. Would you gamble on Matthias Tell for Spurs? Started striker last game. Not really, because they could just play Richarlison. Pick Rodon or Romero for this week. Romero, probably. On wildcard, Pope and Rice or Raya and Bruno Gomes. Pope and Rice. If that's the only 2 combos. Just a quick note to say thanks. This is the latest I've ever played my wildcard. Thanks to your psychological video after game week 1. Okay. The frustration is real. My wildcard may fail, but felt better not to play so early. Yeah, fair enough. Hopefully it works out. I mean, I wildcarded in game week 4, and it's worked out pretty well. But I will say, people on wildcard 6, I do just about prefer their teams if they went the Saka route. For the people that wildcarded in 6 and went Yorkshire, I'm not so worried about their teams because they're a bit more similar to mine. But there was people that wildcarded in 6 and went the Saka route, and I quite like that. If Enzo's leaked to start, should I do Rodgers to Enzo? I think that would be a pretty big upgrade, yeah. I would definitely make that transfer. If it's for free, if it's for a hit, I probably wouldn't. Gay or Burn to start. Gay. Also Vicario or Dubravka. Probably Dubravka. Serious Talk. PS4 Gaming HD. So if you were PS5 Gaming HD, we could have some serious talk. Timber or Gabriel transferring. Gabriel. On a bench piece, best midfielder under 7.5 million, barring Sarr. So you want someone that's good this week and then good long term. Minter, maybe? For 6. Enzo, if we knew he was starting, etc., etc. I'm just looking through the rest of the teams. Kudus. I'd probably go Minter, I think. Thoughts on a slightly different wildcard? No Saka / semi-premium spot. Pope, good. Gabriel, I'm not going to say good for all of them. Burns, Senesi. I wouldn't go Agbadu. No chance. Enzo, Sarr, Semenyo, Eze, Minter, Haaland, João Pedro, Mateta. Yeah. I by the way, I also like the squad depth. Right now, it doesn't feel like you need to completely tank a spot, especially if your team value is okay. The only player I would not go for is Agbadu. I think there's probably quite a few other defenders you could just pick instead, like a Palace one maybe. Stack to Enzo. João Pedro to Calvert-Lewin, 2 free transfers. No, I would keep stacking João Pedro. Got Pope and Burn. Should I play Dubravka over Pope? Yes. Even if you didn't have Burn, to be honest. I hear you calling. Still no news on Enzo. We might get something before the thing, but I wouldn't. Basically, with less than half an hour to go, I would start thinking about what you're going to do if you don't get a leak. So if we don't get any leaks about Enzo, what's your plan? That's probably the best thing to think about right now because we're unlikely to get any leaks, I would say. Which 2 of these would you do this week? Porro to Gabriel, Bruno to Saka, Guiu to Bowen. I mean, probably Porro to Gabriel and Guiu to Bowen. I mean, I would be tempted to do Guiu to Bowen and roll 2. But that's obviously up to you. I guess Bruno to Saka as well. Like the Bruno one and the Bowen one probably. Do I see myself getting rid of Yorkresh at some point, but not this week, obviously. Yeah, at some point maybe. Like if I get to like game week 10 or 11, I've got 3 or 4 transfers, nothing else to do, then maybe I get Saka. But I'm not. I don't know. Saka is better than Yorkresh, but I don't feel like a pressure to have to make that move. Will you purchase the PS6 alongside GTA 6? If there's a new PS6, I'll probably buy it. Yeah, for GTA 6. Bench Van der Ven, Gay, Senesi. You be chosen. It seems. I would bench Senesi. Start Stack or Reinders. Tarkovsky to Chalobah. It's okay. Yeah, it's okay. I wouldn't go out of my way to sell Tarkovsky, but it's fine. Start Thiago, Mukiele, or Gay. Who Brentford got? They're at home, right? Oh no, they're away to West Ham. Yeah, I'd probably play Thiago. I go Thiago, then Mukiele, then Gay, probably just about. Although Mukiele could be good for defence contributions and a clean sheet. But yeah, I go in the order you've got them in, I think. Bench 1, Truffaut, Richards, or Goodmanson. Probably Truffaut in that case. Yeah. Reinders to Caicedo. No. Don't see why you would do that. If Enzo starts, is he better than Saka this week? Probably not. But he is good. If Enzo doesn't start, do you think João Pedro will play behind Guiu? It is possible, but I wouldn't put too much money on it. Maresca does not seem to trust Guiu at all. Who are you kidding? You won't buy a new PS6. You'll just ask for a code or voucher. No, I will buy one. Seb, taking a break from the golf course. Richarlison to... Or maybe he's on the golf course and watch him. That would not surprise me. Richarlison to Mateta or João Pedro / other. I think I'd prefer to buy Mateta in game week 10. So João Pedro is looking pretty good. Yeah. If you stream playing on the PlayStation, you may get given a free PS5. I'm not that bad. Don't make me out to be like I'm always asking for stuff. Just Battlefield 6 happened to come up. I mentioned that I've been trying to get a code. I used to work for EA, right? So I know some people there, but they've not been able to deliver so far. And I don't want to keep asking too much. That's all. It's not like I'm always on stream asking for free stuff. Come on. Leone, you didn't answer my super chat. Is that true? Is that true? Might be true. Play Bruno or Caicedo? Bruno. Come on, you knew that was going to be the answer, right? But will you get GTA 6? Yeah, of course I will. GTA 5 was great. Can Mbermo hurt Liverpool today? I hope so. You have an FM code for me. What, the new one? Or the old one? Don't just WhatsApp me. I can't be having people thinking I'm getting a ton of free stuff all the time. Which I don't, by the way. Start Van der Ven or Dunk. Roll or use one free transfer to get Rodon. No, definitely don't do that. Start Van der Ven. Is it true that Salah has only had one successful dribble all season? I did see that. I did see a stat on Twitter. Someone tweeted that Bayindir has as many dribbles as Salah this season, or successful dribbles. I don't know if that's true. I didn't fact check it. Did you see Moist Criticals show his YouTube earnings? You must be double that. Maybe slightly more than double. I did see that, though. Start Senesi or Munoz. I mean, come on. Come on. Munoz by a mile. I think it is by a mile, by the way, yeah. Bruno to Saka for free. Sure, if you want to. Play 2 of Senesi, Van der Ven, enjoy. I'd bench Senesi out of those. Yorkresh, Kudus, Gay, or Pedro, Saka, Alderete. I quite like the second one. João Pedro and Saka on wildcard sounds good to me. Does anyone have a free house? What else can I ask for? Free stuff. Could eat a chicken roll right now. I've not had breakfast yet. 3 free transfers. Bruno to Saka, Gyökeres to what, who, or roll? Gyökeres, you could roll that, right? But I think Gyökeres to Saka selling Bruno. If you're going to do it, it's got to be this week. It's going to be the preferences this week. So you could go for Bowen or João Pedro. Khan, you member, thank you. Arnold, removed your chat, thank you. Well, not thank you. Eze or Gordon on wildcard. I'd be tempted by a short-term punt on Eze, but longer-term, Gordon's going to be the better option, I think. News on Caicedo, on a yellow and got Kudus on bench. I mean, surely, right, even if you knew Caicedo was fully fit, you would play Kudus over Caicedo, right? Surely. 3 free transfers, bench boost next week. Should I do this move? Tarkowski to Timber or Bruno to Saka? I'd rather have Bruno and Timber than Saka and Tarkowski, I think. Just about. But honestly, you've really got to think about this. So that's what I would probably do. I honestly think that most people are not going to be happy having Bruno and no Saka. So I think for most people, you should make the Bruno Saka move because I think you'll be happier with it. Thoughts on Tarkowski to Munoz? Shall be 20 months. I don't know if I would do it. I think Munoz is better this week. Tarkowski's better next week. So maybe just wait until 10 and see if you still feel the same. I mean, Munoz is more fun to watch for sure. But if you've got like a couple of free transfers saved up, maybe I would do it. If you've got one, I'd roll it. Got 3 free transfers. So many people have got transfers saved up. I'm so jealous. Would you do Bruno and Gyökeres to Saka and Voltemada? I don't know if I'm not that interested in Voltemada right now. Maybe if it was for Bowen or João Pedro. Also, start 2 between Gudmundsson, Mukiele, Van de Ven, and Cash. I would bench Cash. Oh, start 2, sorry. Mukiele and Gudmundsson, probably. Would you sell Watkins this week to Gyökeres? Probably not. When's a good time to do the Gyökeres Saka swap? When you've got a few free transfers saved up, I guess. 2 or 3 moves. Are you blown away by the support of people on here? Yes, actually. Now, I will say, right, because I do this so regularly, you do just get into the flow and you don't really think about how ridiculous it is that I get to stream about FPL. But every now and again, I just sit there and think, this is ridiculous, and I am pretty grateful. Yeah, it's kind of mad. It's kind of mad that it's like happened at all, and it's kind of mad that it continues to happen. To be honest, I'm honestly every year I'm just waiting for I'm waiting for the year where it just all comes crashing down. Which is probably not a healthy way to think, but it's so like ridiculous. I just can't believe it's already happening, and I can't believe it can last for much longer. There has to be a time where it stops. I don't know when that is. I'm hoping it's a little while away, but yeah, we'll see, I guess. Dubravka, Selesi, Richards, and Guiu for bench boost. I mean, Guiu might get some minutes this week, I guess. It's okay. If you're not interested in upgrading Guiu at any point, then sure, go for it. Play one between Stack, Richarlison, Van de Ven. If you want guaranteed minutes, you play Stack over Van de Ven, I think. But I'd maybe risk Richarlison. Need a new forward for JC. Why are you? Is this actually JC? Need a new forward for anti-FPL. I don't know what the rules are though. Surely you don't buy Isidore or Foster because they could play, right? So you go for one of the other two, Nemetra or Osula. I don't know what the rules are though. Is that actually JC? Seems unlikely. Although he does play anti-FPL. 2 free transfers. Gyökeres to Bowen, Anderson to Vardio. I'd probably just roll. Maybe do Gyökeres to Bowen if you really want him, but I'd probably roll. Play Dewsbury Hall or Xavi. Xavi, Vicario or Dubravka. Dubravka, I think. They still need to play. So I guess you go for Nemetra. Probably Nemetra, right? Because Nemetra is not going to get in above. Nemetra's a forward, right? Am I wrong? Right? Whereas Osula maybe at some point could come in for Isidore, I suppose, and play number 9, like from the start. So I guess I'd go for Nemetra. What if you buy a player that doesn't play? What happens then? Do you get penalised? The players have to play. Okay, but what happens if they don't play? Let's say, what if you pick Nemetra and he never starts and never gets any minutes? You get penalised? I don't really know how anti-FPL works. Oh, you get given points as a penalty. Okay. Ah, good one. My anti-FPL team would have Bruno in it. I see what you did there. Good one, good one. I'm surprised it took so long for someone. Like, someone should have said, your team looks like you're playing anti-FPL. That would have been a good one. But it's too late. You've missed it now. You've missed it. Would you bench boost Dubravka, Senesi, Elliot Anderson, and King? Probably, unless you're going to get a much better week soon. Dubravka, Stack, Anderson, Tarkovsky, bench boost. Come on, Ireland. Are Ireland playing today? Dubravka, Stack, or just in general? Dubravka, Stack, Anderson, Tarkovsky. Yeah, I don't hate that. Starting Jai or Porro. Probably in Jai. I don't know, actually. I'd be tempted by Porro. But benching a penalty taker feels horrible. Even though I've done it with Paquetá a few times. Yeah, probably Porro just about, maybe. Has there been any news about not since yesterday, I guess, that we've seen? I mean, we're now less than 16 minutes into the deadline. There's still nothing about Enzo. Might be time to just let it go. It's not going to happen. Who would you start? Van Dijk, Lacroix. Probably Lacroix over Van Dijk, I think. And then I'd be tempted. Do you know, I'd probably play Paquetá over Reinders. Bruno to Saka for free and 1 free transfer, a definite. Yeah, you could do that, yeah. I mean, if you've got Ray, Gabriel, and Saka, that's pretty good. That's just set and forget for quite a while. Start Anderson or Anderson? I would go for Anderson, I think. Do you think we will get a double game week before Christmas? I think it's looking less and less likely, but it's not impossible. What games will I be watching today? I probably won't be watching Forest Chelsea. I might watch Man City Everton, and I'll almost certainly watch the Arsenal game. That's not due to like which ones I want to watch. It's just when I'll be able to watch due to timings, etc. I will definitely watch Liverpool, Man United tomorrow. I don't know about Spurs Villa, and I would definitely watch West Ham Brentford because I have Paquetá. How exciting. Monday Night Football with Lucas Paquetá. Hopefully he can bang one in from another 30 yards again. Bro just said Anderson. There's 2 Andersons. Yeah, that was the joke. That was the joke. Yeah. Yeah, that was the yeah. Bench boost, Dubravka, Caicedo, Alderete, Xhaka. Yeah. Definitely. Start Senesi, trust me. I'm a little bit tempted to start Senesi over Evan Nielsen. A little bit tempted to do it. But I don't think I'm going to. Live watch along tomorrow for Liverpool Man United. Nah, I don't think so. I don't want to watch Man United lose live on stream. Hopefully we win, but I don't know. How many hours a week do you reckon you work? The thing is, it depends what you classify as work. Like, is every time I'm talking about FPL, or yeah, is every time I'm thinking and talking about FPL work? Because if it is, probably quite a lot of hours. But then if I wasn't making videos, I'd probably be doing all that talk and thinking about FPL anyway. But then that wouldn't be classed as work, right? So it depends, really. Like, because you never really stop. Like, you know, when I'm watching Man City Everton, that's not work. I'm watching football. How can you class that as work? But I'll be thinking about FPL. Like, someone gets injured, boom. What does that mean for FPL? So in terms of like sat down at a computer making a video, probably not a huge amount of hours. Like, I can do them pretty quick these days. But I mean, like, it just doesn't feel like work. So I feel like if you ask my wife that question, she'd probably have a different answer to me. She'd probably class what I do way more hours than what I would class it as. You never really switch off. Over the international break, I kind of did. Do you tell the wife you're working when watching football? No, I just say I'm going to watch football, really. G'day from down under. I'm not going to do the accent. 3 free transfers. Happy to roll or any combination. Yorcresh, Fernandez, Njai to Bowen, Saka, Enzo. Again, I don't think you can buy Enzo right now. So if you want to do Yorcresh and Fernandez to Bowen and Saka and roll another transfer, I quite like that. Again, I think, like, honestly, I've had so many questions this week about doing Yorcresh, Bruno to Saka and a forward. I think most people will be happier if they just make that move. And look, if I had 3 free transfers, I might be considering it as well. Possibly. 2 to start. Van Dijk, Porro, Alderete and Richards. Porro and Alderete. Start Stack or Njai. Njai, I think, just about. Your question, Njai to Saka, Isiodor. I don't like Isiodor. I just feel like at some point... is it Mayenda? Why can't I remember the name? It's Mayenda, right? My mind's gone blank there. Yeah, Mayenda. Like, could he come back in at some point? Sunderland fans, let me know. Rodon, Gabriel, Senesi, Gay, Alderete. Which 3 to start? Rodon... Oh, no, sorry. Gay, Alderete and Gabriel, I think. And should I swap out Foden for someone? I would just play Foden, honestly. 35 months. Sell Xavi for Caicedo. No. Got Semenya, Reinders in Burmo, Njai, Yorkeresh, Haaland, João Pedro. Sell for someone else. Play Xavi or bench for Estev. Play Xavi. Play Minter, Dubravka, Rodon or Pope, Strand, Larson, Burn. Out of those, I would play Dubravka, Rodon and Strand Larson, I guess. But if it has to be one of the combinations, the first combination with Minter. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. I mean, presumably Isidore will keep starting, but I don't know if his place is like fully secure. I wouldn't buy him personally. I'll stop following Andy's advice until he sells Bruno. Thanks. Just stop watching in general, really. Can't decide Gakpo or Sarr in. I mean, Sarr fairly easy for me, I think. Sell Yorcresh to who for Saka? I'd probably go Bowen or João Pedro or sell Raya Bruno. I wouldn't bother selling Raya, I don't think. Like, Raya is not really much of an issue. Why are people moving Yorcresh? They really want Saka, basically. And also a lot of people that are trying to get Saka also have Bruno. So it's also like a good week to get rid of him. It's like the stars are aligning, basically. Bowen or Voltamada? Bowen. What do you think of double Palace defence in your squad? Not necessarily using them both each week. I think it's fine. Probably better from game week 10 onwards because obviously they got Arsenal next week. But on wildcard, you could go double Palace, bench them next week, and then they're good from 10 onwards. Bench 1. Gravenberch, Bruno, and Jai. Gravenberch, easy. Start Dubravka or sells Dubravka. Is it work or a vocation? I'm not really sure what vocation means, to be honest. Would you go for Mateta to replace Yorcresh to get Saka, even though he has Arsenal next week? I like Mateta long term, but I think because of the fixtures, I'd prefer to just go João Pedro or Bowen right now. Why do people get rid of Salah? I guess it's just one or the other, Haaland or Salah. Most people are just going Haaland, right? No Liverpool attack versus Man United sounds scary, but you could just have Bruno instead from that game. Wouldn't it be amazing if Bruno outscores all the Liverpool attackers this week? Start Goodmanson or Senesi? Goodmanson. Less than 10 minutes, by the way. Still nothing about Enzo. Mark, João Pedro or Bowen on wildcard? I've got Bowen for minutes. Doesn't excite me. Does João Pedro excite you, though? 60% ownership? I think I'd go Bowen, but it's pretty close. To be honest. By the way, I don't think that Fernandez will outscore the Liverpool attackers. Obviously, I'm not stupid, but I just hope he does. And it would be amazing. Dubravka, Stack, Anderson, Goodmanson. Dubravka, Stack, Anderson, Goodmanson. Oh, bench boost 8 or 9. Probably 8. Like, who do Leeds have in 9? Like, Anderson doesn't really have a better fixture in 9. I mean, Newcastle away, it's not that much better. So you just bench boost now, surely. I mean, Leeds are home to West Ham. Dubravka is away to... Well, I don't know, actually. It's pretty close. I'd be tempted just to use it now. I don't know if 9 is miles better, so I'd be tempted just to use it now. Is Haaland triple captain viable? Yes, but I probably wouldn't use it. I think there's better fixtures to come. Play Caicedo or Njai? Njai for sure. If you have to play one between Tarkowski and Anderson, which one? If that's Anderson midfielder, probably him, I think. Wood to Bowen for a -4. No, probably not. Probably not -4. Have 3 free transfers. Isak, Bruno, Evan Nielsen to Saka, Pedro, Bowen. I said don't hate it, but I don't know. Yeah, I think it's probably fine. I feel like basically when someone says they're using 3 free transfers, I almost want it to be something where I'm like, wow, yeah, that is a huge upgrade. And like Saka, João Pedro, Bowen is probably better than Isak, Bruno, and Evan Nielsen. But I don't look at it and think, wow, that's such an upgrade. It's also fine. It's fine if you want to do it. I probably would prefer the players you're bringing in. And I think you'll be happier with those players because the fixtures are going to look much better this week. And next week, Chelsea have got Sunderland, so it's not getting any worse. Bowen's got Leeds. So yeah, I quite like it. God, I wish I had more transfers. Yeah, I quite like it. Quite like it. Thoughts on Liverpool versus Man United? Is this the week Liverpool assets come up trumps? Probably, unfortunately. Ideally, this is what I would like to happen. Van Dijk opens the scoring. And you're like, oh, Man United, what are you doing to me? And then Bruno Fernandes makes a comeback and it's 3-1. Bruno hat-trick. I'll take one Van Dijk goal. I don't mind Man United not getting a clean sheet. One Van Dijk goal and then a Bruno hat-trick. 3-1 win at Anfield. Be nice. And I think that's quite likely to happen. Bruno and Dewsbury Hall to Sarr and Enzo. Probably not this week. Just because of Enzo doubts. Enzo might start, but there is obviously doubts there. Was going to ditch Reinders a few weeks ago on Wildcard. Was absolutely slated for the idea on FFS. What's your thoughts on doing your own thing? I mean, yeah, it's your team. You should do your own thing. Like I've said for a few weeks now, Reinders' expectations are way too high. People think he's something he's not. He's still a really good value player for the money, but he's not going to be a Semenyo or a Saka or whoever, a Haaland. Saw on Discord Enzo on the bus. Oh, let me have a look. Oh, is that today? So Enzo has travelled. Interesting. Is that actually? Oh, hang on. That's it. That says USA Tour on the bus. People are saying Enzo bench. Where's that come from? I think you've been duped there. People say an Enzo bench, but where's that come from? I don't think people know. I think people are guessing. Start 2, Bruno, Van der Ven, Juve. Bruno, do you know what? I'd play Juve, I think. Start Steve Simons or Paquetá. Paquetá. Start Van der Ven or Virgil van Dijk. Van Dijk, I think. Enzo Maresca on the team bus. Maybe. Maybe they're sponsored by USA Tour. I don't know. Pope and Timber or Raya and Munoz. Ooh, Raya and Munoz. Less than 4 minutes to go, by the way. Dan Burn or Senesi this week? Senesi. Yeah, Senesi. Captain Salah or Voltemada? Salah. Internet broke. I think I said just hold Xavi, to be honest. Yeah, I would play Xavi over Esteve. I would roll. That's what I said. Hope your internet's back now. Hell of a bad day to not be able to log in with socials. No issue with Facebook login. No, I'm logged in to Facebook. Yes, I'm old. I still use Facebook. A little bit anyway. I don't really use it that much, but it's just, yeah. I did upload some pictures of my dog the other day. Gakpo to start. I think he'll start, yeah. I think he'll start. Well, I'm rolling, I think. I've been saying that for 2 weeks. I'm rolling. Who do I vice captain? I'm just going to vice captain Bruno because people seem to be a bit annoyed with that. Or should I vice captain someone else? Yorkeresh, Semenyo. Semenyo could be on penalties, but it's against Palace. Who should I vice captain? Why am I even asking? Everyone's just going to say Semenyo. Why am I even asking? Gabriel vice captain. Nice, I like it. Like, who would I actually captain if I found out after the deadline that Haaland wasn't playing, but FPL allowed me to switch captain? Who would I actually captain? I'm not sure. I'd probably go Semenyo, I think. But then that's, I don't know, Yorkeresh number 9? I don't know. 2 free transfers, thinking Gabriel for Van Dijk. Thoughts on going Saka for Foden, Voltemada for Yorkeresh soon? Yeah, Voltemada I think can wait until Newcastle's fixture term when they get a few more home games. Saka for Foden is fine, but you don't have to force it this week. Gabriel for Van Dijk is fine too. Gabriel differential vice captain. I like it. I already answered that one about the Enzo Xavi thing. I would just play Xavi. Woke up at 10:55 panicking I'd missed the deadline. No, you've still got 50 seconds. Get locked in. What am I going to do as soon as the deadline hits? I guess I'm going to go and download Battlefield 6. Thanks to Gamer Riot. Was it Game Riot? Oh, I need to check that now. They've sent me a code, so I better get it right. I think it's Game Riot. Yeah, Game Riot on YouTube. Nice. Oh, they're playing Ark Raiders on YouTube. I've seen people playing that. Anyway, sorry, FPL, 20 seconds left. Why are people selling João Pedro just because he didn't get points? Would you include Enzo on wildcard? Probably yes. Van Dijk captain, no chance. I think I'm going to play 4-3-3 for the first time in my life. Good luck. I did that last week. It was rubbish. Start Sanchez or Dubravka. Dubravka. Stream Battlefield 6. The problem when I stream... Yeah, that's the deadline, by the way. The problem when I stream games is everyone just comes in and asks FPL questions. Like, I just want like a break from FPL every now and then. I understand why they do that. I'm glad people follow me for FPL, but I don't always want to talk about it. Like if I'm playing Battlefield, I don't want to talk about who you should bench in Jar, you know? I could just have a ban on FPL questions, I suppose. All right, we're locked in. No Chelsea news. I kind of prefer that, but then I don't have Chelsea players, so I would say that, right? You need an alias. I've thought about that actually. I've thought about setting up a separate channel and not telling anyone about it and just letting people come in hopefully naturally. What's your go-to Greg's order? I've not had Greg's in years. I don't live in the UK. I guess I do like the chicken bake though, or a sausage and bean melt. I've rolled. Finally, I've rolled. Right, I'm off. I was thinking about staying around to the Chelsea lineup, but I'm probably not going to. I'm going to shoot off. If you enjoy that stream, please do make sure to give it a like and hit that subscribe button. Be much appreciated. I will be back tomorrow. Even though we won't have seen the great Lucas Paquetá play football, I'll be back tomorrow straight after the Liverpool Man United game. VIP, new member, thank you. I will be back after Liverpool Man United around 6:30. Basically, like it'd be 6:30 or when that game is finished. There could be a lot of extra minutes for Bruno to score his second penalty. So we'll see. Dunnes Stores now stock Greg's. I think Iceland do as well, but probably not going to go and buy Greg's stuff from Iceland. But you never know. I do miss a good chicken bake or a nice sausage and bean melt every now and again. Right, enjoy your weekends. Hopefully we all get tons of FPL points, and I will see you tomorrow around 6:30ish. Catch you later.